to see how the college kids like it.
Oh. Yeah, I bet. Did you get thrown out of there?
Dude, people were so upset. All the UCLA kids that came up after me were just like yelling at me.
Really?
Oh, they were so mad.
Dude, this sounds like really good material right now. Let me just get like a 5-second quiet ambience.
What?
It's just to get the background noise out of the way. Ambiance? I don't know what the word is. This is not going edited on the YouTube clips. Alright, okay, 5 seconds, alright? Alright, cool, we're in business. Let me start it off. Hi everybody, welcome to the UltimateBS podcast, a podcast where I interview every competitor and headliner that's been on my show. Today we have Vanleer and Ben Thompson. How you guys doing?
Alright, kind of alright.
Kind of alright?
We're great. Oh, should I get closer?
You
so
should
you
probably
actually
get to
use
the,
Yeah,
put
really
it on your
the mic.
mouth.
Do you have to put it all the way up or no?
Yeah, it's kind of
Alright,
close.
cool.
Hi guys, welcome to my house.
Hey,
Hey.
at your house.
It is really fucking hot right now, man. I'm fucking sweating. So, how do you guys like the show so far?
Which show? The podcast or the Bringer
the podcast,
show?
any of it, the Ultimate Bringer show.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Yeah, man, you were there at a brutal fucking.
We gotta talk about that show.
Yeah,
that
man.
show was.
Yeah,
It was terrible.
kind of a do-over.
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah. Can I get my $20 back?
You didn't pay it, and he gave me
I
back.
I almost didn't do it. Because
Yeah.
I realized it's $20. I'm not paying $20.
Yeah, not after that.
And then I was just like, alright, whatever. I had confidence in myself, you know.
Yeah.
But,
It's one of those.
Dude, that show. I mean, you just have to do shows like that. It was.
no, it was fun. It was pretty fun. Sometimes I like shitty shows. Like, it was kind of bad,
You
you
can
know.
call it a shitty show.
Yeah, but just because it just like I don't know, makes you tougher, I guess, as a comic, you know. Just get through that.
Yeah, definitely. Here, Ben.
It was just a weird. They just didn't want to laugh. They
Yeah,
just
man.
didn't feel like laughing.
Yeah, I blame myself for that fucking show because like when I went out there like because we had such a small crowd, it like psyched me out. I was like, oh man, it's just a small crowd. We had to have the comics in the audience just so that there was an audience. And then like I was there, I did my thing, and I was unprepared, and I was like, oh, that set the precedence for the whole thing. And I was like,
It happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, the funny part is when you just said, "Okay."
everybody, let's go home.
Like, yeah, well, just get over this, then we can all go to bed. Everyone was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I guess we're done. Fuck.
Just all the energy just left. Oh god, that was so
You
funny.
just gotta start yelling sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Start yelling.
Well,
If all else fails.
Yeah, I'm very inexperienced when it comes to the hosting. Have you guys host a lot ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Open mics. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do at the fourth wall, but I didn't get the chance. You know what? I'm gonna turn this fan back on.
All right.
Do it.
Yeah. Do it.
I'm fine. Let's leave it off, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it up.
This guy. I was like, oh man, you're my guest. I'm
He's like,
walk in front of the fucking thing.
He's dripping sweat. You're like, yeah, you know what? No, keep it up. Keep it off. Oh my gosh. I mean, the best part of the show was Eric Rocha at the back.
Oh,
I
yeah?
don't know if you saw him because you were probably behind, and he was just like, he was just watching every comic go up like, oh, he just kept going, oh no, oh no. Because like you brought him back a little bit.
I went first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you went first because you know they were gone when James got off the stage.
Yeah.
And then you brought him back a little bit. And then after that, it was just like, well, Eric made a good point. He was just like, people were like begging, they were like asking. They were asking the audience. Like, you can't do that. You gotta demand it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't ask the audience what they want because, again, most people don't want to be at comedy shows. They just want to go home.
Yeah.
Or if they do, they're like, you know, make me laugh. Like,
Especially at 11 o'clock at night. It's a hard show to make it to, you know?
and especially if people haven't been to the fourth wall before, they don't know what they're expecting.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, this is an abandoned farmer's insurance building in a strip mall underneath the 170 freeway. Next to a 7-Eleven. It's like people are like, where are we? and then you come and you're like, don't worry, guys, we'll be out of here soon. And they're like, yeah, let's be out of here soon. And then like because then their brains are just like they're like looking around like what's going on. I was just in that bathroom and that thing's an absolute spitfire of a shit show. Yeah. And then I'm supposed to like laugh at jokes. So it's weird. Yeah, you guys gotta demand it. Like
you guys did great though. Like out of all the comics that went up, like you guys were the ones I heard a lot about. You know, like from the people I guess I interviewed afterwards, trying to get some feedback.
Everyone was dragged there, you know, like their friends, hey, come support me, whatever, I'm doing win cash, or, you know, they were dragged there. It wasn't like, they saw a flyer, like, I'm gonna go to this.
You didn't bring anybody, right?
No, I didn't bring anybody.
I'm trying to
you got like you got a ton of votes.
Yeah.
That's good. Voted.
I'm trying to get more people there, but like doing my own, like at work or whatever.
Your own promotion.
Yeah. So the point of this podcast is to kind of like showcase you guys, like you know, really get. It's not about me or any of this. It's like I really want to have the audience get to know who you guys are. So like you know, there's no format. We're just talking. You can go talk about your past, how you started, who your inspirations are.
Go.
No, you go.
Do it now.
So what's the first question?
How long have you been doing comedy?
A little over 4 years.
4 years, awesome. Where, are you originally from LA?
No, I'm from Florida.
From Florida? Did you start over there?
I did it like once in Jacksonville, Florida, then moved to Orlando and started doing it there.
Okay.
For good, for real.
Nice.
What's comedy in Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't really do it. I did it there once, and I did comedy. I did stand up once, and then did do it for like 2 years after that.
Oh, yeah.
And then second time I did it was in Orlando. So.
Okay. Now you seem very young. How old are you?
29.
29? Yeah, dude. Awesome. Everybody's getting a head start before me. I always compare myself.
I mean,
no, but you guys are awesome, man. Like 4 years in.
It's I mean, when you start, I think it doesn't matter because I've met a lot of guys now that started when they're like in high school. And now they're in their mid-20s and they hate it.
Yeah.
And they suck because they hate it so much.
Yeah.
Because like they've been doing comedy. Like I met a guy the other night. He was like, I've been doing comedy for 8 years. I'm 23. How do you start comedy at 15? Right?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, dude. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I loved it. You know. I mean, that's young enough to know if you want to keep doing it or not. You know what I mean? Young enough to get out. You know.
Yeah.
If you start at like 15.
I guess, but like, how do you even like? I don't even know how my dick works at 15. And I have to go like figure out what my comedy style is. There's no way.
Yeah. Crazy.
I don't know. Well, didn't Chappelle start super young?
Yeah, I think he started like
but he's a prodigy though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I think I've thought about like doing what he did at because I've heard that he goes to parks and has like a little microphone speaker and he just does stand up in the park, just random people popping by, and I was like, oh man, that's how you get like your hours in. You know what I mean?
That's unreal. I couldn't do that.
You gotta be like Chappelle.
I couldn't do that at all. I mean, do you imagine?
If someone paid me to do it, I'd do it.
You'd have to pay me to do that.
What's the roughest show you've had?
Someone just dared me to do it. What's up?
What's the roughest show you've had? It wasn't my show, was it?
Yeah. Roughest show. God, I was thinking about that. One time I was at FAMU. It's like in Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay.
It's like an all-black college, mostly black college.
Okay.
And it was like an auditorium full of people, and I just choked, you know.
Oh shit.
And I wasn't even like that I was bombing. I just like didn't remember shit. I just kind of choked. And like people like when you like got up and left. Or the DJ next to me saying, "Oh, this kid's killing himself," you know. And yeah, so bombed pretty hard, you know. I got like a couple of jokes off, you know.
Yeah.
Like one late woman up front was like, "That was good."
Yeah. Encouraging you, thanks.
It was in front of so many people, but like, over at least like 200 people.
No shit.
Yeah, but I got up there and it didn't feel that bad, you know. Like honestly, if you're up there and you're like, this doesn't feel that bad, and it's like, I don't know. Yeah.
How long was your set?
I don't know, like probably 7 minutes, 10 minutes maybe, something like that.
Oh man, must have felt like forever.
Yeah, it was a long drive. I was from like Jacksonville to Orlando to Tallahassee, so it's like maybe 5 hours there, 5 hours back.
Damn. Oh, for 5-7 minutes set and then.
Yeah, I got paid, but.
Oh, you got paid. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That's
Yeah.
rough.
It's a good story, I guess, but still just bombing in front of that many people. Though. But if you can handle that, I was just like, okay, you know, whatever.
The woman Brian actually said that was good.
Yeah, that was decent. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna quit now, just because you said that.
Thank you. How about you, Ben? Tell me about your roughest set.
Roughest set.
Yeah, let's try and get the mic a little
Oh
closer.
yeah, okay. Roughest set. I was at Skiptown Playhouse, and like someone got me on the show, and it was supposed to be like, oh, like it was kind of, they kind of built it up as kind of this big deal, and I dropped a lot of stuff to do the show, and I get there and there's no one. There's one audience member, and it's the girlfriend's. It was the boyfriend of one of the female comics.
Okay.
And
that's the only person in the audience?
The only person in the audience.
Okay.
And then like the comics.
Yeah.
That was it. And I was just, and then the host went up and sucked, and then brought me up. And I was just like, I was just like, fuck this. I was just so angry. I was like, I guess I'm just gonna work on, like, the only way I could justify doing this is doing new shit.
Yeah.
And I was doing stuff on trans people and doing stuff on lesbians. And
how long ago was this?
They were in the audience?
The people I was talking about? Yeah. No, I was doing like material about it. No, but that's the thing is they definitely were. Once I was like 2 minutes in, I realized
they were like, it's all trans.
They were like, they were like, this was not the crowd for me. Like they hated me, which granted happens most times. Like they're on stage and people are like, fuck this guy.
Right.
But they hated me, and so I just ate shit for like 5-6 minutes, and then every person that came up after just had their virtue signal and talk about how I was like part of the problem.
Damn.
And then I think it was just bad, but it was just like I didn't get a single laugh in like 5 minutes. And then the guy that booked me comes up after the show and he was like, "Hey man, like I was trying, I thought your stuff was really funny, but like I couldn't laugh because because of the people in the room." I'm like, "What? I hate that." I was like, "Fuck you!" Like that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what happens, man. Is a lot of those like the worst shows I've been on are shows where people just book either their buddies or they book chicks they want to fuck.
Okay.
And it's just like you're setting yourself up for failure. No one's gonna take you seriously. So I haven't done that show since.
I haven't had the luxury of curating the people that sign up. I'm just like first come, first serve. Let's see what happens. Just trying to get out there,
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, I was just like, I was hoping that like word of mouth, because like you said it before, it's like there's a trying to find the right balance between somebody who's been doing it long enough that they're funny but can still bring people, and then like somebody who's not funny but they bring a lot of people. Just the right balance in that.
Yeah, because your show's in a tough spot where it's like, you're openly a bringer show, so I get it. Like if people are wanting to sign up, then they want to be a part of the bringer.
Yeah.
I guess.
I got the next.
Except Ian. Except Ian.
I don't know anyone here.
Just wanted the fortune and the fame and.
Fortune and fame. No people to follow him.
I was thinking of like actually handing out my my headlining spot to some more seasoned comics. Just I don't know if that'll but I want people to like to fight for it.
For the headlining spot?
The headlining spot, 10 minutes. I've been saying thank you to some of the people who helped me along the way. Like for example, I gave it to Joe. We did 10 minutes. I did it to Travis because he helped me out like with the music and all that. And now I'm gonna have Bear do this month's headlining spot.
Who's doing this one?
Bear. I don't know. He just goes by Bear.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Right.
I'm sure I've met him, right?
Yeah. If he goes to Portfolio.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sure.
Funny guy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's tough because that's what's weird is like I was talking to a lot of comics about this. That there's like this weird thing where if you're trying to like extend out, if you're trying to like get bigger, you would think that the best way to do it is to bring someone big on board to like help spread it. But from what I've heard, like really you have to get picked up by somebody, if that makes sense.
So like a semi-professional person would be like, "Oh, yo, come to."
Yeah, at least like you guys know Tom Allen. Like Tom. I was talking to Tom.
Okay, yeah.
And he was talking about his podcast, and he was saying how because I was asking, I bet because he had Howie Mandel on, and I was like, that must have gotten you guys a ton of followers. Like, no, it didn't, because Howie's not going to promote doing the Chad Goes Deep podcast.
Right.
He gets a ton of followers when Fox News does stuff about them.
Yeah.
It's like when Fox News pulls them up, that's when more people find out about him. It's not when he pulls Howie down. It's this weird, like, this status thing, I guess.
It's crazy. So much to learn.
It's weird. I don't know. Because I think we're all trying to do it. It's like you have to. It sucks. Like you have to get followers, and you have to get social media presence.
Yeah.
To get booked. So it's like, how do you do that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out as I go. Ian, what got you into comedy? How'd you start? Like,
I don't know, kind of just not knowing what I wanted to do, with my life and shit like that. Then I saw the TV show The Office for the first time. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, this is fucking hilarious. This is, thanks.
Yeah, no, yeah. You're welcome.
He's like slowly letting it go.
Just didn't know I was your butler.
But just watching that show kind of made me want to start like writing comedy, So I started doing that at first, but I started doing stand-up, and started more and more of that, and then less like writing actual like scripts and stuff, and just started doing stand-up.
Do you like stand-up more now than the writing?
I used to be like even, but now I like stand-up more, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Used to get the same feeling from like writing versus like having a good set or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to Bill Burr's podcast, and he was talking about how it's a different feeling to get laughter from, like, when the voice actor's reading a line and they, it's the first time they read it, but they fucking crack up. It's like a different kind of satisfaction that you get. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never written anything, so I wouldn't know.
I feel that. What are you writing? Or what have you written?
Like original shit about old jobs that I used to have, like an office spec script.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Damn. Yeah, what was like writing a spec script?
It's easier, I guess, because I was obsessed with The Office, so I had all those characters in my head already. I knew like what their voices sounded like and who they were as a person, like throughout that show, But
did you do it as a kind of an exercise, or were you trying to get submitted?
just doing like exercise, I guess.
Yeah.
Just trying to start out,
Yeah.
Trying to learn how to write like a script and what words to use and how to place them and where to place them.
Do you have any projects in the line in the future that you want to like?
I write shit down, write dialogue down, but I haven't really sat down and like put it to paper yet.
Okay, cool. It's an interesting thing about like the creative juices, like it kind of like really does flow for somewhere. Like if you're doing stand up, you're writing, your juices start to do that more than it does the other. Like I've been feeling a little depressed lately because I've been working a lot on trying to get this off the get bigger or whatever, but I haven't been writing any jokes down. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I had as much like getting after like joke writing than I did for this show. So I don't know.
I mean, you're right. I mean, you kind of see how that hurts people. Like, not hurts them, but just changes. Like, there's a reason Conan doesn't do stand-up anymore. There's a way. I was just listening to. Thank you. I was listening to Kumail Nanjiani. It's like he doesn't do stand-up anymore because when you're not like just only thinking about bits and you're doing acting and show running and writing, it's just like you don't have the bandwidth for it.
Yeah.
That's why I like stand-up more, because it's like you can write a joke, test it that night in front of real people.
Yeah, it's like getting more minutes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stage time.
Is it gonna pick us up if we're right here? If the mic is right here?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wanted to check it, but since we're already like 18 minutes in and we got like what do you call it?
Okay.
I'm gonna try to fix it in post.
Where are you going later?
I'm doing a shoot, but
like a commercial?
No, this is just what I wear.
Oh really?
This is
a
my
soccer player.
Yeah, this is
what
my
do you shoot? Like commercial, like what's going on?
my talk show.
Oh,
the
nice.
talk show thing. Yeah.
60-second talk show.
Yeah, I didn't want to
how
wear
long
my
does it
tweed
take
jacket.
to do the 60-second talk show? Tell me a little bit more about that show.
60 seconds.
No. I mean like. I I know he's not winging it. Like,
Yo, we actually shoot it live. It's live.
60 has to be 60.
Yeah, it's live, and it just takes a lot of rehearsal. And what you see is the one take. We're just all that good, with multiple camera angles at different locations.
Are there any black people in your show? Can I be the black person?
We would love to have a black person.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, because we're supposed to have one today, and he canceled. So I mean,
I got to buy a new one.
Classic, right?
You gotta rent a new one.
We'll see. No, we'll see.
No, you can buy me.
Yeah, we'll get you. We'll get you up there.
Fuck yeah.
Get you on the block.
No, yeah, sure.
Well, what do you? Yeah, we need to get you a character.
Alright. Characters, alright.
Yeah, well, we need a character, or what do you want to do? What do you want?
What's the one thing you're doing today?
We're doing multiple, so we'll shoot 3 to 4 episodes a day.
Oh, nice.
So we'll do it one Sunday every month, and it takes about an hour to do each episode.
Okay. So you guys write it all out like that this very day? You guys are showing up?
So I write all the episodes throughout the month, and then then Cole and I hatch it out, and then we go through what?
I just picture you guys fighting.
It is. There are definitely arguments for sure. We had the dumbest argument of the day. We had, because we did an episode where like it cuts to a clip that a woman did about a documentary, and we cut back, and I'm mad at her, and we couldn't decide what the clip should be, and I was adamant about it being a like soldier coming home, and he was adamant about it being a disabled puppy. So we're just like sending texts and like yelling at each other back and forth. Where it's like, just like puppies, man, puppies, and I'm like, no, people are gonna laugh at the fallen soldier, and it's just we sound like psychopaths, and we still do. Yeah, and it's just so dumb, and I wanted to end up being one of our worst videos, but it's
I don't think I've seen that.
Fun.
Is it on Instagram?
It is.
They deleted it.
It's the soldiers. The soldier. I got the soldier thing in there, so maybe we should have done puppies.
I don't know.
At the end of the day, who knows?
Try to look for it.
But yeah, so yeah, we'll do that. But we shot a carpool karaoke one on Thursday, and then we're shooting another one next Sunday. We're trying to do more specials where we get out of the studio, or by studio I mean Cole's apartment, and yeah, it's fun. It's exciting.
How'd you meet Cole?
Cole and I work together at Warner Brothers.
Okay. That's
We were just homies, and then I just one day was like, hey, what would be cool? Is like someone did a 60-second talk show. He was like, we should do it, and that was it.
Awesome.
And then we had another guy I work with, a guy named Andrew Brown, who does all the. He was like, oh, I want to help out.
Yeah.
And he's like, he does all the cinematography and all the directing for it. And then we just find people we think are funny, and we have them on, and we just think of ideas, and it's cool.
Nice.
It's a good time.
Nice.
That's right.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we just need. What do you want to do? What do you feel like you have something you want to say?
No, I don't have anything I want to say. I wish I had stuff I wanted to say. God.
Have you guys known each other for a long time?
No, but you feel the chemistry, right?
Yeah, definitely do feel this like.
Like, John, I'm gonna blow you, dude.
It's just a great back and forth.
It's like, I should just hand you guys the mic. Just like.
It's me guessing what you're thinking, and it's just you telling me you're racist, usually.
Don't think you're racist. Well, when you say racist things,
someone's got to call you out.
Oh, man. But no. What? Well, I mean, I've been hosting since Fourth Wall since February.
I've lived here for 10 months, so somewhere around there.
Well, you've only been here 10 months.
Yeah, I thought you were here longer.
Oh,
wow. When did you guys did you guys meet at the Fourth Wall, or were you at a different show?
Fourth Wall.
Fourth Wall.
Yeah.
The Fourth Wall's awesome. I wish that ever since I started going there, I want to find my own room to open up. It'd be such a great idea.
It's tough. It's like the whole open mic market is completely saturated, oversaturated with birds and fourths. So it's like,
yeah. I was thinking
need more rooms.
I was thinking of having one right here in my front yard, but it's kind of far away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is far out.
It's pretty far.
This is far out for you guys. Yeah. I make the drive all the time, so I'm like.
That's crazy.
I
realize why you just got that fourth wall a lot. The North Hollywood one, right? Yeah. It's closer.
It's the closest one.
It's the closest one, yeah.
And it's for sure guaranteed that I'm gonna have a spot.
Yeah.
I like the whole slotted idea.
The slotted makes sense.
But you know the thing about like going to the fourth wall constantly is that you'll always see the same people, and then like if you go to a different open mic, there's like a whole other community that like of people I haven't met yet. And I went to the Good Night. You guys been there? It's like a bar.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's right down the street from the fourth wall. And this one night it was like packed. There was like 60 people there, and they were all comics doing the thing. They had a bucket system, so they wrote it out beforehand and gave like 25 spots, and then everybody could go home after if your name wasn't called. But it was just like, this was when I was trying to find comics to perform for the show. And it's just like, I've seen these people before and they've seen me perform, but it's just like nobody laughs. And I was like, all right, you guys don't know me, you know? Yeah.
I mean, that's the hard part about going to the same open mic over and over again, is you get comfortable there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, I mean, all right, let's be honest. Like, a lot of the people on your last show, they didn't have the ability to break that audience down because they only ever do the fourth wall.
Yeah.
So they don't have experience. Like, Ian's done shows in Jacksonville and Tallahassee, and like he's all over. It's like he can take that room and he's not phased by it. He just does that. Where like a lot of the guys that came up, like they only ever did the fourth wall, and they're used to seeing the same 9 guys every time, and they get up there and that joke doesn't work, and they don't know how to get out of their shell.
Yeah.
That's what happens, man. Is like I feel like that's one of the biggest things about the slotted thing is it's encouraging a lot more comics, and it's also discouraging a lot more because once they get out of that shell, they suck.
Do you guys like the whole aspect of it being a competition?
I love it. I love competition, so like I'm all for it.
Like we're relating.
Yeah, but I like it.
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because when I listen to like podcasts like Joe Rogan, they always talk about how it's very supportive of the community. Like every comic should be like, there shouldn't be this whole like dog eat dog world. It should be like everyone should support, which I like. This is great, but at the same time, I feel that there's a huge influx of like new open micers. Everybody's doing comedy now. It's just like I kind of want to weed out some of the people and be like, here, to put your test to the skill,
So your goal with your show is to have it so competitive that people quit comedy?
Yeah,
is that the
I mean, that's the nature of comedy, but also like, really... Say it again?
You have to move back home.
you get exiled. It's $20 and threat of exile.
Yeah. We do need some exile going on.
Yeah,
so we need some of that.
Yeah, it's friendly though. It's friendly.
Nice.
I mean, that's the reason I don't tell anybody like how many votes they have, because I want to protect everyone's ego. But like I was thinking,
destroy egos, dude.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Do it. I don't know. Yeah, I like it. I think you should do it because I mean, Ian and I competed and we're fine.
Yeah, I don't hate them.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm glad. Say again?
So I don't hate him. I murmur shit. I just mutter shit sometimes,
It's because he actually does hate me.
Yeah, I hate him.
Under the surface, I can feel it brewing.
Well, what other mics do you do?
The Bert's backroom thing, the public house on it's next to the clubhouse. That.
Oh yeah.
Used to do the Lyric Hyperion Lyric mic, but I don't think they do it on weekends anymore. But
oh really?
I haven't been to many open mics, but downtown LA one, 3 Dudes Run It. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Is like the crawl?
No, I've done that. Yeah, is that cool? Have you done that?
I haven't, but I hear good things about it.
Oh, yeah. I need to branch out. I moved here and I was like, I need to have better material, So that's what I've just been doing right now. But
do you guys hit up the Comedy Store?
I've done like 1 show there, but I haven't hit the open mic that they do on Sunday sometimes.
Sunday and Monday. I think Monday's the day that they do the thing.
Yeah. There's like a mic on Sundays too sometimes, but definitely Monday.
Yeah.
I usually go once a week.
To the Comedy Store?
Yeah, just to like hang out and watch. I've done one show there. I've done I think 2 or 3 mics, but only the Sunday night mic.
Okay.
I don't do the potluck thing on Mondays anymore.
It's 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, and like the chances, I mean, there was one day I was there and there was like 300 people that signed up. Like, you're not going up.
Whoa.
It's not going to happen. And it's just, I don't know, they say, you know, it's good for networking and stuff. But you're also just like networking with other open micers.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, you see a lot of the same people, and it's just, you just kind of stand around and just talk about nothing, and everyone's just kind of looking at the window, ready for them to paste it, and then once they paste the the line up on the window, everyone just runs over like a bunch of like fucking rats.
Hungry.
And it's just, yeah, and then no one gets up, but then they Snapchat it and like their boy, and they tag them, and then they go and watch their.
Some people are there every week.
Yeah, and all power to them, because that's good. And because I get it, like it's a great way to get booked on stuff. But it's also just like, honestly, I don't have a lot in common with a lot of those people, and I just don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, I'll talk to a few of them, but like there's just some guys. It's like, you know what? We're not gonna click, so I'm not gonna waste our time.
I'm very interested in finding out, getting to know my graduating class. You know what I mean? The guys who are actually going to be around for a long time. Like, I assume you guys are. I'm going to know you guys for many years, considering the big earthquake doesn't happen. Everything's fine.
Which I'm all for, to be honest.
It's not funny, dude.
No. Wait, this was your first time experiencing an earthquake?
I experienced one when I was a kid. I used to live here.
Okay.
But yeah, this is my first time, like as an adult,
Uh-huh.
going through it. It's pretty crazy. I didn't know what was going on at first, and I was like, oh, this is an earthquake.
You're like, oh.
And it wasn't that bad. The second one is worse.
Uh-huh. That one lasted longer.
Yeah, it was a lot longer.
I felt the first one, didn't feel the second one. The second one, I was here, cleaning the cat litter or whatever, and then my mom, she's like, there's an earthquake. And I was like, what are you talking about? Look at the chandelier. And it was like moving. And I was like, all right, everybody outside or whatever. You're just standing outside.
Oh, yeah, don't go outside. You're not supposed to do that.
No?
I read it, an article headline that said you're not supposed to go
Oh, yeah?
outside. I didn't read the article. I just read the headline, but
Wait, why not?
I don't know.
You didn't read the article, did you?
No, but
just
don't
said,
do it.
don't go outside.
And this is why I do.
Sometimes you don't have to read it. Sometimes you gotta, I get it.
Sometimes it's also misleading. It was like, don't go outside. Reasons why you should never follow this rule.
Yeah, right. There'll be a lawsuit.
It drives me crazy. Where was I? The first one, I was at work, and I was working in the lobby of the Warner Brothers, and there was just like a bunch of people in there. I was like, oh, it's just getting really loud. That's all. I was like, oh, it's just there's a lot of people in here, and then people I work with are all soft as hell, so they were just like themselves. I was like, oh, it's just. That really shook me up. I'm like, what? Like, it just got, like, calm down. There's like 300 people here. And then a woman came up and said, I have a weird question. Was that an earthquake? Oh, yeah, that probably was an earthquake. I just didn't even notice. The second one, I was in the bomb shelter, weirdly enough.
Oh.
Crazy.
We all ran outside.
Dude,
We all
ran outside. Because the last place I want to do is die in the bomb shelter of the fourth wall.
Sounds like the safest spot to be.
Sounds like a safe spot, but it's not made out of brick.
No goddamn chance.
There's no bomb shelter.
That
shelter.
wall is made out of styrofoam.
Oh really? That's cool.
And it's just like the worst done brick. There's no way.
Sure.
I think that wall is made out of
I want
rocks.
to film my comedy special on there.
Totally do it.
That'd be tight.
You'd have to do like one central angle and then like the other, it just like GoPros on the walls. It's the only way you could get.
Just like 3 rows, no foot room. Can't get in.
You can't get in and out. Yeah.
I've only been there once, and I feel like it's still like some places still need the juice in the walls. You know what I mean?
Juice
Like,
in the walls?
yeah, like it was still brand new. Like they're like
They don't have juice in their walls yet?
I don't know. Like they fucking laugh.
Well, that's why.
Broke ass one.
What are you doing, Joe?
Pouring water out of there?
Bunch of black fucking paint. I call the fourth wall the black box theater just to sound a little bit more fancy.
Juice in the walls. It sounds like Glory Hole place.
Hey, shit, I think Travis lived in there. There might be some juice in those walls.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Right out of cement.
I don't know. It's, yeah, I like Hollywood more than NoHo.
You do?
Both are cool. Yeah, I think you just get more variety down there.
Okay. Yeah.
People, yeah, for sure.
So
And you get some people walk in too.
You guys ever gone to the like Long Beaches or open mics in Santa Monica or? I mean, you live out there, don't you?
Yeah, so I'll do Santa Monica and Culver City and those ones, but I haven't done Long Beach. Have you?
No.
How long have you lived here?
I've been here I moved here April 2018. Yeah, so I went to school out in Redlands, out in the IE, and then moved here right after college.
Okay.
So, yeah. That's when I started. So
Just giving it.
I started actually I really started taking it seriously the night I graduated. That was
That's a good time to start taking it seriously, right? You
Yeah, because I did it the summer going into my senior year, and I was like, okay, like this is fun. I want to do it again. I've gone this far. I'm gonna take my degree and play soccer, and then I'll take it seriously after that. And yeah, I think it was the night of my graduation. So I graduated in the afternoon, and then went and did stand up that night.
Nice, man. That's how you know. Do you do stand up on your birthday and the first anniversary of like the night you did stand up? Do you know like the day of the first time you ever did? No.
I don't remember the day either, but I did do it on my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it on my birthday too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's awesome.
Little birthday present to myself.
Yeah. How'd you do?
I don't remember. Probably average.
Where at?
Probably at fourth wall. Right there.
Sounds about right.
Spent it there. I get people to wish you happy birthday. You just say it's your birthday.
Yeah.
People start clapping, so that counts as
That's
party.
better than gifts.
Counts as a party.
I spent New Year's or Christmas Eve at the fourth wall. That was fun. I brought some beers, just hanging out.
Crying.
Yeah. See, usually I do not do stand up on holidays. Just because like people are so depressed.
Oh yeah.
Usually people are just like they're so sad that they're at the fourth wall or they're at an open mic on their holiday. Yeah, I usually avoid it.
No, I had my family here. There was a party. I was just like, I want to go there.
You have those moments. That's why it was my birthday. I wasn't gonna go, and then I was like, you know what? I want to go on stage.
Do it. Best show ever.
Like best set ever or best show ever done?
I would say best set, like best set you've ever done.
I don't know. There's so many to choose from.
With you, man, like let me just reach into the bag of like great set. I've only had like one good set.
Oh really?
Yeah, like one that made me like as soon as I was done, I was like, fuck, I want to do that again. You know what I mean? And then like when I did the same set again, it wasn't the same. It was a good night.
It was Joe's show, Joe Benente's show at Flappers.
Oh, okay.
That was probably my best set.
How does he do that? I've been
Not
able to,
often.
Yeah.
Not often. I think he's done like 3.
Okay.
Ever. But I did that one, and that one was like, yeah, that was a good time.
How many people in the audience?
They sold out the Yoo-Hoo room.
Oh, nice.
So how many does the Yoo-Hoo room fit?
Like 30?
Yeah.
30, 40?
So that was cool. Yeah, I'd say that one was probably the best. And then I did one at the Time Warp Records down in Mar Vista. And it was this weird show where like I could book like 4 of my friends, and this other guy was booking 4 of his friends, and it was like a competition to see like who had the better team, basically.
Oh, hey, that's pretty
And
interesting.
yeah, it was a cool concept. And so the first guy's team went, and none of them did great, and the crowd wasn't really that into it. And then I brought my group up, and just like all of us murdered by just shitting on
What was the
everyone
prize?
there. Just here's a handshake.
Okay.
But it was it was really cool because it was fun. Just like you just have you and your friends are just doing stand up, and everyone was just being super mean to the audience members, and they loved it. So it was cool. It was a good time. So yeah, I don't know. You got one yet? I thought I gave you all time to
No,
think
yeah,
of one.
yeah.
Did you get one?
I got one. Got a good one.
I'll give this to you so you can really dive deep into
Okay,
it.
so it was 96. It was the first time my parents ever saw me do stand-up.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. It was in Jacksonville, some wine bar. It was like packed out, like shit ton of people there. I get up. My first joke doesn't like land as I want it to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of bombing at first, you know. And I'm only remembering like the first tag, the first like premise of every joke for some reason, you know. But then I like kicked into survival mode and I just started like killing because I just started, you know, just like you know, because you have to, you know, my fucking parents were there and shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, shit, this like your brain just like does something sometimes where just like it can kick in, you know. But I know like in the middle of it, I was like, oh, I was in the zone. I was like, I don't remember anything. I just want you guys to know, I just don't remember any of this. And then I kind of lost them after I said that, and they're like, I guess they like kind of lost confidence after I said that. I was like, oh shit, never mind. I was sweating fucking profusely because I was half nervous and like, and it's probably hot as fuck in there, but yeah, that was probably the best set I've had, you know. But there's sets where you just feel good sometimes. Like I've had a set where I was like drunk and high, you know, at the same time, you know, and you just get up there and just start talking and like
It worked out.
yeah, just like you just feel good, you know. You go up there for like 15 minutes or something like that.
What's your parents say? Were they impressed?
Yeah, like, I've only had like good sets in front of them. I haven't like bombed in front of them, so that's good.
That's
know?
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Damn, I've only bombed in front of my parents.
Oh yeah.
My parents have seen me 3, maybe 4 times. And every time they've seen me, it's not gone well. So they're seeing me next Sunday, so we'll see how that goes.
Let's see how that goes.
It's good that they still support you. They haven't said like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Blah blah blah.
It's like, oh, so this is what you're doing, huh?
Shockingly, I think they think of it as like, you know, it's just like he's just getting it out of his system.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Alright, yeah. We'll see if it's
I mean, we'll see. It's, you know, pocket.
Who knows? It could be a trickle down thing. You don't have to fucking blow up, you know. Someone you know blow up and give you a writing job or something like that. You know?
Yeah, seriously. I think that's how they think of it.
I just want a job, you know. Like I'm not trying to fucking be some superstar, you know. I just want to like work in the industry, like writing or something. You know?
Yeah. It's interesting, like where our goals are. I started off this journey with wanting to do stand up, like be good, but then like the more I've listened to podcasts and like professional comics saying that like if you really want to get good at this, you have to do it every night, you know, as much as you can, as often as you can, and like I don't got that kind of free time, you know, being a.
You got kids,
I
homie.
got kids, man.
I got a dream. I don't have any free time.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Pack up, baby.
Yeah.
Pack everything up. Right now.
So I've had to like reevaluate
What?
He's got one of those like sacks that on it. He just like picks everything up, throws it away.
No, so yeah, reevaluating it, like, you know, my goals or whatever. I was like, you know what? I'd be happy if I was just funny, and like if I had one place I can go to, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
I'd be all right.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you write about?
Me?
Yeah.
Just whatever pops into my head. I got a weird sense of humor. The one kind of sense of humor that nobody else laughs with myself, you know?
Yeah, honestly, you gotta figure out a way to make other people laugh at it.
Connect, yeah. Are you more writing out before you go up, or do you like wing it?
I write it all out. Sometimes something will come up from just winging it. You know,
Okay.
Like a tag.
Awesome.
That'd be cool, you know? But like that inward bit that I have, that came from just like, I wrote something completely different, but then I just said like, what about you guys? Like one day, and just like it worked. And I was like, oh fuck, I guess I'll just keep saying that.
Yeah.
You know. So that worked out, but.
Do you guys have any bits or tags in your act that you don't know why it gets a laugh, but it just does?
Everything I write. Everything.
It's the whole act.
The whole act. Like what is
I'm
going
still
on?
trying to figure it
Or
out.
like even like something that you just like say and it's not even supposed to be like a joke, but it somehow gets a laugh.
Yeah, usually just the shit. Yeah, no, exactly. Like I say something like, "Do you guys like small talk?" And like for some reason I get a fucking laugh. Like maybe the way I say it. Or something.
I think it is. I think because I always think of it because that's. You're like it sounds like you're trying to make small talk.
Yeah,
that's why people laugh.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh, it's cool. It's just like little things like that. You know, people expect people to laugh at. You know, But I'm learning that you really have to bring like your personality up there, you know, like a personality at least. Some people you can just do deadpan and they can kill deadpan, you know, but sometimes like the audience just wants the personality.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's so hard about. I mean, that's what they say. Finding your voice.
Yeah.
You got to find your voice because that's what people want to listen to. Like you know, you have all this. Like I'm sure you guys all have friends that are just like the funniest people ever, but it's because you know them. And like that's the key, that's what's so hard about stand-up is you have to like make a connection with the crowd and make them like you within like 5 seconds, so then they start laughing with you within 30. Like that's hard, and you can only do that if they like you as a person. So it's so hard because like you have to, like Chris Rock said this. Chris Rock said that like being, oh should I move into
I want to capture all this.
Sorry, like Chris Rock said, you know, like being a stand-up is a psychopath. Because it's you having a 1 hour conversation where you're the only one talking and thousands of people are listening. Like that's what a comedy show is. Like that is what a psychopath would do.
Consistently.
Exactly. And so like that's hard is you have to make it like a conversation. It's hard to do that because you have to make it sound like you're just talking with someone at the back of a party when really you're standing on an elevated stage with a microphone in your hand and people are just listening to you. Like it's hard to join those two together.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's like well, you know, I hear like tour guides that I work with, and like they have tour guide voice. I always make fun of them for it.
What's
like,
the tour guide voice?
And over here to the left, you'll see Annie's Orphanage. Annie's Orphanage was built in 1934, and the exterior is made out of a fiberglass mold. Like when you talk like that, people are shut up. They don't want to hear it. So that's why that's why they say it takes 3 to 5 years to find your voice, and then it takes 10 years to get good.
Yeah,
like, it's hard.
Yup. Yeah, a long time. It's all about. Do you guys believe in quantity over quality in terms of sex?
No.
Quantity over quality? Quantity over quality? Quality over quantity?
Either or.
Oh fuck. Dude,
What do you think is better? Quality crowds, or like it doesn't matter how many great crowds as long as you're still doing it.
I mean, how much material do you have? You know, I mean, that's what it really counts on. And what are you trying to work on? You know, like right now, like I'm trying to work on just like not going up there without any material and just trying to like talking, like riffing, you know. But sometimes that works, sometimes it fucking doesn't. But if that's what you're trying to do that. But if you don't have any material that you're trying to work on, just stay home and write. You know.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But.
So did you guys ever hear about like Dane Cook's like live at the Madison Square Garden? But he completely winged it all.
What?
So I'm pretty sure I'm butchering the story up, but like Dane Cook like he was it's better if you guys read the episode. But he was basically saying like he did like a show one night and then he had this special, right? Like he needed new material and he said like I'm more of a on pressure kind of guy, so he talked to his agent or whatever and he scheduled like this big, he's gonna film his Netflix or not a special, right? And he goes up and he completely wings it and like he fucking killed. Just like right out because like just the amount of pressure of like all these people are here to see him. He's gonna come up with something, and he did.
I can't remember there's some quotes, I can't remember who said it, but like, it was something like, brilliance doesn't need time, it just needs a deadline.
Huh.
I can't remember who said it. I want to say Frederick Douglass, but I know it's not true.
Well, I'm not going to look it up, but I'm just going to take it from word of mouth. I was like, oh man, brilliance needs a deadline.
Yeah, because I think we've all been there where it's like you're better underneath the gun. Where it's like, I think we've all been there, like especially in school, where it's like if you have 7 months to do something, you're not going to do it until...
I get shitty time management skills.
Yeah, exactly. But if like someone tells you right now, like, hey, you need to have a brand new joke, like tomorrow, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You'll come up with something.
Gun to your head? Yeah.
You guys write any jokes today?
No.
You guys want to go through our jokes that we wrote today?
Did you write something?
Slackers?
Did you write a joke? Did you write a joke today?
My latest thing.
I've been twittering today. Some Twitter jokes.
See, I wrote a joke
premises.
Yeah, the same shit.
Yeah, like the last thing.
Let's workshop it. Let's workshop this.
What premise did you write today?
Okay, let me see. Where am I?
I'm also convinced that you're only going to get about half of the NI's audio, and that's okay.
Alright. Say again, the decent audio?
You're going to get like half of it, I think. but it's cool.
We'll see what happens. Maybe I won't.
It's like if I'm right here, okay, I can see some spikes.
Some spikes.
Some spikes. You gotta turn it up or something afterwards.
I will.
Well, here I think if I just speak like this, I'm at the same level that Ian is if he speaks right into it.
Like this.
It's a little spike.
We'll be fine.
It's moving.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
I'll increase the volume.
What's your premise? What premise did you write?
So this is what I wrote. There's approximately 2 million people not worried about earthquakes. I could care less. I'm not scared at all. And that's because I have a lot of friends who are homeless. I don't know. I'll be able to survive. I'm nice to the homeless people, so they know how to survive in the streets.
And because they're outside.
Yeah, they're outside, you know.
But you're not supposed to be outside, so.
You are supposed to be.
No, during an earthquake,
Oh, yeah,
they're not supposed to go outside, right?
Yeah, what the fuck?
My bad.
How's the consistency?
Only read the title.
What's your premise? What's your
Premise?
job? What's your right today?
Twitter bit? Alright. This ghost hunters bit. It might be too bad, you know. Steve Irwin's death, definitely something like kids from playing with snakes. You know, it's got to count for something. And it's bad tags sometimes.
Oh my god.
All right,
Sometimes I think of the bright side of things, you know.
Okay.
These kids won't be like pressured or influenced to mess with wild animals and shit. They don't see like someone on TV doing it. But that's something I wrote for Twitter.
No.
How often do you tweet?
Not often.
For the record.
How many likes you get?
Do not
How many likes
follow
you
my
get?
page.
Don't follow him?
Alright, so this is what I wrote today. I wrote, I hate when I forget a towel. I have to stand in the shower until I finish air drying.
We've all been there. I just walked
We've all
out.
been there.
I mean, I just run to go grab a towel.
Yeah, I know, but it's
It's
just,
funny. It's
yeah.
funny. It's a good bit.
Alright, Ben.
It's a good joke. I write monologue jokes every day.
Like a monologue?
Like a Tonight Show
Okay.
joke.
You're
every
so
day.
white.
Hey.
He's got the cadence too.
Hey.
Our story tonight.
Yeah, seriously. Let's see what this one is. An American biologist went missing on July 2nd, and her body was discovered by 2 locals in an old SS bunker. Which makes sense, because the police searching for her could not see her.
Nah.
Female services are being planned.
Yeah, you love that Nazi stuff, man.
Why is it always Nazis with you, Ben?
I like the Nazis are funny to me. I think the time has passed. Here, let's see the last. Okay, country singer Joe D. Messina said she got a visit from Jesus on her front porch that changed her life. And no one is more surprised than Jesus, who was just there to cut the grass. And see, that's a read joke, because Jesus and Jesus is spelled the same. Fuck you guys, alright?
Hey,
This is all new stuff,
Yeah.
alright? Open
there
mic
is
podcast.
no judgment
That's a
here.
good premise for a podcast where people try new shit on themselves.
Not a bad idea until someone fucking steals it.
Like I don't know what I was thinking with this one.
That's a good one.
You know who's exempt from the Me Tooing a woman? An old man with his wife.
That's the last person.
I know, exactly. It's like he's gonna slap her ass. He's old.
Oh, wait, hold on. You're saying that the last you can't Me Too your own wife.
Yeah, you can't Me Too your own wife, especially if you're old. You know, then they think like, oh, it's just a generation.
Yeah, we
thing.
should ask Biden. We should ask Mrs. Biden how she feels about it.
I've been watching a new show called Ghost Hunters, where they track down the people that ghosted you. It's a premise.
Yeah.
That's a good premise.
Yeah, there's something there.
Especially, yeah. Is Ghost Hunter still on?
Oh, yeah, A&E picked them up.
Oh yeah.
Really?
There's
that
13
would
seasons of
that
just
would
like.
be that'd be funny as hell though if like they were still doing the ghost hunting where like they're like in the house like, oh, what was that and then there's like a chick in the back on her phone and she was like, I see his IG story, I see he's posting, I know he's on his phone,
Right.
he sees it. It's like, oh, you see that orb? And he was like, did you see it says scene? He read that shit.
It's a sign. Now we know what the next 60 seconds.
We can cut this part out, right?
We're gonna cut this all out of post. No one's gonna get.
Hey, yeah, want to do that? You can come on and be you can be the star of Ghost Hunters on the 6 Second Talk Show, and that's.
All right. What else to do? Black ghost? That doesn't make sense.
Why not? You're trying to say there's no black ghosts out there?
They all seem white. Casper's, they're all white ghosts.
Someone told me today that I looked like. Not today. That was a lie. That was a comedy exaggeration. They told me last week I looked like Casper.
You do look like the human version of it. When you know that movie,
Oh,
that
that's why. That's what they meant. I thought the actual ghost. I'm like, okay, these are getting really uncreative.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about.
I was told straight Pete Buttigieg a few weeks ago too.
I don't know who that is.
You know what Pete Buttigieg is?
No, who is it?
He's the gay dude running for president.
Nope.
You're just part of the problem.
I am. I don't follow sports.
Got him. No, let's do it. You come on the talk show and you are the ghost hunter. And I'm like, and it's like, oh, where are you going? Like, you go to the haunted houses in Midwest or Connecticut. Yeah.
I'm the ghost hunter. Hey, and I'm a ghost.
Oh, that's funny right there. You're a ghost hunter.
You're a ghost hunter, but you're a hunter. You're a ghost hunter. There's a ghost hunter. You're a ghost hunter. The ghost hunter.
Yeah, I'm the ghost hunter.
But like, how's that possible? Like, who's better at catching ghosts?
I thought you guys were saying like he's a ghost who's a ghost hunter. He just doesn't know that he's a ghost.
No, he knows he's a ghost.
Yeah,
He knows. Yeah, He's like the Django of ghost hunting.
Oh man. Well, guys, we've been doing this for like 55 minutes already, so I don't know. You guys want to keep going?
Whatever.
Up to you.
Whatever, man. We're actually 56 minutes, so
let's do a whole hour.
let's do the hour. It's your podcast, man.
Yeah, man. I'm still trying to figure out how to do the format. Like, the goal is to showcase you guys so the audience can see like, oh, who are these people? Do they come out?
Well, right now you're showcasing my thighs, and I'm okay with it, to be honest.
Old thunder thighs.
I can't wait. I can't wait for everyone to just be like, oh wow.
Those are some.
Like, I don't know what he's saying, but it's like,
of
good, you can't hear me anyway. But as long as you're looking at these puppies.
It looks like an Oreo, and then you got me and then me.
It's like the Neapolitan Oreo. Did you know that's not real cream in Oreos?
What is it?
I don't know. They spell it wrong intentionally because it's not real cream. That's why it's like CREME. Because when you look, it says
creme.
Yeah,
That's a word, right?
Is that French?
Do they put a little accent over
Is
it?
there a little tilde?
Yeah. I think that's a word.
It's not a tilde.
There's no creme.
Well, tilde's the little squiggly end. How do you not?
No, I thought tilde was the sharp one.
What's that?
No, a tilde is the enye.
Oh.
Is the squiggle over the end.
Enya.
Enya?
Do you know who that is?
Enya?
You know who Enya is?
Who's Enya?
It's a singer that you guys should all know.
Why should we know Enya?
You know, you've heard an Enya song before.
Sing one.
I mean, I can't. Way too embarrassed to do that. But I'll Google it for you if you guys want to listen to Enya.
Who is Enya?
Let's just say everyone on your podcast will be like, how the fuck did they not know Enya?
Oh man, we're losing listeners.
And then, yeah, you're going to lose viewers, so might want to delete this.
I will delete this part.
Let's start over,
Do
actually.
you think Enya's going to like this?
Take two. Don't worry, we're going to use camera
one. Is Enya here or is she?
Is this where your whole family eats?
Exactly. Not that table.
Yeah, is this the dining room table?
This is it. This is where I like.
Everyone tucks their legs underneath the stools here.
Japanese style.
It's right here. We leave the drinks right on the ledge.
Little shot glasses. That's all you get.
How'd you not know what tilde was? Rios?
Oh, I thought the tilde was the little sharply line thing, and then Enya was
That's an accent.
the one.
That's an acento.
Ah, you're right. Yeah.
See, I have an acento.
You know Spanish. Yeah, you know Spanish better than I do. You take Spanish classes? Because I never took any Spanish.
I just feel like the Louis thing is too close to your daughter.
Don't worry, he's looking away.
Wait, there is a Louis poster right next. There's
Next to his dog.
Daughter's smiling, and Louis, in the most self-aggrandizing way, is like, "I've got him. They're gonna love me."
This was before, you know, all of the allegations.
Before, just kept it up. Just kept it there. You're like, no, I'm not gonna. You don't want to take it back down and just center that one. You're just like, fuck it.
Yeah, you're committed.
It's all good.
Yeah, your girl hasn't come by and said anything about it?
No, she's the one that made it.
Oh, really?
Afterwards?
After the fact?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Damn. Like, right after she heard the news, she's like, I'm fucking making up.
I mean, they're at their cheapest.
I mean, like, whatever he did doesn't take away from his skill, and how good he is at writing jokes. And I think that's what I admire more than anything. I mean, like,
he also is talking about self-love in that quote.
Yeah.
Which,
I know. I thought that was a funny quote too.
and the last one is kind of an asshole.
I was like, what are you referring to, Louis?
And definitely would rather have self-love than self-awareness.
Really?
Many people don't have self-awareness, and they're doing fucking great for themselves. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Wait,
I'm just saying.
you'd rather have self-awareness than self-love?
No,
I'd rather have more self-love than self-awareness. Many people are doing fine without self. You know what I mean? They're just like going about themselves, their lives, and they're killing it.
Some of the most successful people aren't self-aware because they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you're good,
Asians.
you're good, regardless if you're self-aware or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
But maybe you have to be self-aware to be good. Who fucking knows? But all I'm saying is, I would rather have a little more self-love in my life.
I think. That's a good point.
You know, a little
Self-love.
less aware. I think the anxiety would leave. Some of the anxiety would leave, but a little self-aware, like less self-aware.
Less self-aware. Okay, I see what
I think you're right. I think that's what comedians are better because they're more self-aware than self-love. Because the self-aware makes them
able to analyze the jokes that they write.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. Like, I read something in a book, and it said, comedians are the people that see the world as a tragedy, and their only way for them to rationalize it is to make it funny.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking tragic.
Yeah.
Pretty tragic. But, yeah, I guess shit happens, I guess, you know.
Like that, yeah, like his other quote, life isn't something you possess, it's something you take part in and you witness. Like Crystal Leah talks about, like what do you do in your free time? He goes, I go to the coffee bean on my street, and I sit there and just watch people. And then that's what I talk about on stage that night.
Nice.
That's what he does. And he's like, look at
It's
people.
a good thing to do, it'd be cool to do. Instead of isolating yourself, fucking trying to write jokes and shit.
Yeah.
If you do write, do you do like a marathon of like a whole hour's worth, or do you just go into your hitters?
Sometimes I will wake up and then I'll just start fucking writing like as soon as I wake up 8 in the morning, or I get up at like 8 for like work and shit. So sometimes I'll wake up at like 5:30 or something. And like, just lay in bed and like write and stuff.
Nice.
And but like weekends you just wake up and fucking write and do whatever you want and write. You know, you don't have to work. But
it's good to have like a whole day. Do you do it sober?
I mean, either sober or high, I guess, or smoke a little bit sometimes. But found this new weed called Incandescent, whatever. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No.
It's like a brand called Incandescent. It's amazing. It's good. It's the first weed I've had where it's like I'm not like groggy or sleepy after.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like you're high and then just like you go back to normal and then you're just fine, you know.
Right.
But
I find out with like the little vape pens can do that, but there's like if I get too high, then like I'll lose it. You know, it's kind of like I have to get to this point where I'm like on the line between falling asleep and not. That's where like this creative stuff starts to happen. But lately I've started using coffee, like an interesting combination between like weed and coffee. It's just like ramps up my brain a little bit.
But sober is good. I mean, I think I've written the best shit sober. You know what I mean? And been able to fucking just write a shit ton out.
So you don't think it's like a crippling thing to do it high, right? Because I've also heard that like if you can't do it sober, then you know you shouldn't rely on the weed alone. You should be able to do it sober, access that.
It just depends on who it is. But yeah, I can't just stand up high or anything like that. If I were completely sober, I think I'd be a better comic. But I I go back and forth on that, like, should I fucking just quit, you know? But who knows? Who knows?
Right.
I'm still trying shit out. It works so far.
Yeah.
So it's alright.
Do you think? So what I'm gathering from what you're saying is that like you're still trying to decide whether you're going to be in this for a long time.
What? No.
No.
I mean, I'm gonna be in this for a long time, forever, I guess. But if I were to give anyone advice, do it sober.
Do it sober.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do it all sober.
Try to balance it out. Like I got the luxury of doing it at the fourth wall, signing up for 3 mics. I'll do the first 2 sober, and then the last one I'll see if I can get high and see what else comes out. I've had some good tags come out of it. You know, where you're just like you're not thinking about it, you just say something on afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can never recreate it though. Not as loud as the natural feeling. Ben,
So I gotta record.
Yeah.
That's why I record.
Ben, I asked you last time how you wrote, right?
Yeah.
Since that episode is lost, let's do
Lost forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, typically I will. I have a premise, and then I'll try it out on stage
Without writing anything before?
without writing anything, to see if it has any legs.
Uh-huh.
Usually it doesn't. If it does have legs, then I'll write it all out by hand.
Uh-huh.
Just because that slows my brain down. If I have to type it, then it's just like I'm just trying to get from one word to the next. But it's something like where if I'm like have to write it by hand, then my brain's thinking like, what else can I add? What else can I add? What else can I add?
Uh-huh.
So I write out by hand in the journal, and then I'll just kind of read over that, and then I'll take that from my big journal to my little journal. I'll write down the bullet points. And right before I go on stage, I read the bullet points, and then I leave it. I don't take the notebook with me because I don't like it as a crutch. And then I'll go up and I'll do it a few times, and if it works, usually 3 times. I'll try it 3 times. If it works after 3 times, and then I'll type it out. And I type it out on OneNote, because OneNote I can have it on my phone app, and I can do it on the computer.
Yeah.
So then I'll write it out, and then I'll try, every time I do it at an open mic, I'll try a new tag. And if it works, then I keep it. If it doesn't work, I take it out, and then at the end of every night, I add what I did, what went well, I take away what did badly, and then I write a new tag, and I bold it, so when I look at it the next day, I can see what I want to do.
Wow, that's awesome. So you got like a really dissected, like...
Yeah, that's because that's just my style. My style's like, I'm not like,
I think
I'm a joke, I got every, I don't know, for me, like, every word matters. That's just kind of like my style, so it's like, so I take a lot of pride in it. So believe it or not, that Jew joke has it's taken many forms, shockingly.
Yeah. It didn't start off with you.
Yeah, it didn't. Honestly, it didn't. I had to add slow. Yeah, it's a rough joke, but it's a real rough joke.
Are you gonna do it at the next show?
No, it's not ready.
No, it's not ready.
It's not ready. No, I don't know. I still don't know what I'm gonna do the next show. I got 2 jokes that I can't decide what I want to do. I don't know. What should I do the next show? Yeah. Should I do the Jew show?
I don't know. I mean, do whatever you want.
No, I don't know.
You're the defending champ, dude. You can like completely bomb and you won 1.
That's a good point. So, yeah, I'll try. I'll do my next best.
Yeah, awesome.
That was great about last show. I didn't do any material.
I know, dude. I was so lucky.
You actually disqualified him. If you would have done material, I would have had that money.
And you'd be the new defending champ.
And if I would have gone last, I don't know if I would have been able to riff. I don't know if I would have trashed. Who knows what I would have done. I don't know if you kind of trashed the show.
Fucking not only the show, but me, dude. Like fucking my sign, like, oh, did your daughters draw it? I was like, dude.
Oh, I couldn't do what the guy before me did. He showed everybody in the audience.
Yeah.
That didn't go well.
Everything like kind of like worked out in like your favor. Like he like completely got everybody's like tension up, and then you went up and was able to shit on the show. I was like, all right. And then you set it up for fucking Rob Banks. After you made everybody laugh, Rob Banks was able to have a great set.
Thank you. It was just anger and awkwardness, and that's just what came out.
Dude, like I'm shaking Ben's tie, and he's squeezing my hand. I was like, "What are you fucking doing?" It's like I didn't have no control over this, man. I'm sorry.
I threw my phone on the ground, and then it was just off to the races. And I feel bad because I shit on Anthony pretty hard.
Yeah.
I don't like to shit on comics, but I couldn't help myself.
No, you were going at me, and I leaned over to Eric, and I was like, I had a good set.
I was like, this guy's talking about
I
it.
was like, I had a good set. And he started laughing. He was like, so I was like, I know you was talking shit because sometimes people say shit because it's funny. I just know, you know what I mean? Like,
You did a great set.
Yeah, just say it, you know.
All right, awesome.
Exactly.
Well, we definitely did more than the extra 5 minutes. I don't want to keep you for too long because it's almost 3 o'clock.
I'm satisfied and smiling.
Yeah, I'm satisfied.
Thank you guys for being on my show. Tell everybody your Instagram handle where they can find you for any shows coming up. This will be coming out next week.
Ian_Leer nowhere.
I'll write it on. I'm gonna put a little thing on there.
All right, cool.
When's your next show?
I don't know. I already had a bunch, and then that's it.
Okay, cool. It's a writing phase.
He's actually going to be on the Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon.
I'm on Ben's show.
He's gonna be on the 60-second.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll be on my show once we have our next show. August 29th. He'll be on our show August 29th. So my show is the Tasty Desserts Comedy Show. I am at btomp4 THOMP 4 on Instagram, and then Twitter is BenDaddy69. Sorry, Mom.
Made it in middle school. It's still kept it.
Damn right.
All right, guys. Oh, thanks.
All right, later.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Cool. Well, that wasn't that bad, right?
You always do that.
You know,
You always
you
do that.
I
You're so glass half empty. Oh, that wasn't so bad, right?
That comes
no,
from,
it was
like,
good. It was good.
Mike was off the whole time.
I love you. Like, oh yeah, you guys want to do 5 more minutes? Just say we're doing 5 more minutes.
You're doing more fun until you go home. Nah, man, it comes from insecurity.
That's okay.
Oh, man.
That's also a good bit. It's a funny bit. Have you ever thought about doing more?